What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my game show. My name's AJ Gels. How y'all doing? I know that this is probably not going to be the most interesting video to watch visually because I really am not going to be showing a lot on the screen. I'm just generally going to be talking here because really I didn't want to get bogged down in an article because I've really kind of talked about this situation a little bit. I talked about how on the weekly show on Monday about how Blizzard has kind of walked back in quotes its ban of Blitzchung over the whole Free Hong Kong issue. I did have to laugh though that really walk back. They split his ban from a year to 6 months, which I still think is overly egregious. Again, I'm going to go into a little bit, why I still think that that's over the line. But if you want to punish him, I still think they have the right to punish him. I'll get into that a little later. Don't worry. But apparently, they just continue to, as you're seeing it on the screen, punch themselves in the face. I don't know. I don't know how they're doing this. You'd think that they'd have a PR wing of their company looking at somebody saying, "Stop it! What the fuck are you doing?" If you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the fact that they also just canceled an event in New York about the new Overwatch on Switch. They canceled that, I'm assuming, to avoid protesters. BlizzCon, there's massive talks that people are going to be doing some sort of protest at BlizzCon. No, I'm talking about the fact that 3 collegiate Hearthstone players have now received a 6-month bans for competing in Hearthstone competitions, be it from Blizzard or third-party organizers. They've received 6-month bans because of this letter that Blizzard put out after the whole Blitzchung situation. I was reading the article, and one of the participants was thinking, "Man, this is weird." About a week after the event happened, because the event happened on the 8th. It's been over a week since then. And he's like, "We haven't received any punishment." And, well, what do you know? 6-month bans for all of them. Because, frankly, they had to at this point. You know what? I'm going to take a quick second. Let's go read a tweet by Imran Khan. And I quote, "This is honestly a somewhat hilarious story at this point because they had to do this because of the dumb letter they released last week. They codified it as official policy, which just means they have to enforce it at the worst times and keep the story alive." He continues in another tweet, quote, "Rule number 1 of crisis management is not to pull your shoelaces out more so you have more chances to trip on them. By abdicating all responsibility, Blizzard has just opened themselves up to keep taking these stories in the teeth." I mean, the thing is, he's exactly right. They're going to keep taking this in the teeth because, as I said earlier, Blizzard has the right to deliver some sort of punishment for this because they do have a policy in their official rules. I've seen the tweet of the email or whatever that was sent to one of these collegiate players. That actually in their rules it does say they show that it was worded oddly that I think that they're taking a very liberal interpretation of their rules, but they made the rules. Whatever they can. I'm trying to think how I'm trying to express this. They have something in their policies about this in their competitions. So yes, they do need to enforce their rules, or their rules mean absolutely nothing. I also said this during the weekly show. Look, I agree with them that, if, these competitions and the broadcasts are about the broadcast and the competition, not about all this other stuff. Because me personally, I go watch that stuff to get away from all that. I play games, I watch esports, I watch regular sports, I go to a concert, I go to a movie. I do that to get away from the real world, and now you're bringing it in there. Fine. You want to have a policy that says, look, don't talk about these divisive sort of political topics. Fine, you can have that policy. It's well within your rights as the organizer to have that policy. But the fact that in these letters, they're bringing up this policy, they're not only making people realize, oh, so this is codified policy, so it now has to happen to everyone. So it's like Imran said, the story now can't die because people are now going to do it to get bans, to get Blizzard to keep banning people and keep kicking themselves in the ass. It's a vicious cycle of this story won't die because people are going to keep doing it. whether or not they believe in the protest or whatever, they're going to keep doing this just to fuck Blizzard. And that's frankly where we're at right now. It's what I said during the weekly show. The smartest thing they could have done after the Blitzchung thing is say, look, we have a policy. We were too harsh. We acted rashly. We were afraid for business interests in another country, which, let's be honest, that's what this is about. This is how this whole thing started. It's not about the policy. The massive ban was to appease a Chinese market. Well, not necessarily the market in China, but the officials in China to keep from getting banned, because we have seen situations in which companies have taken it in the teeth for somebody somehow connected to them saying something about China. I think the NBA is going through an issue with it right now. So we can see examples of this. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Blizzard's afraid of the Chinese government. But again, I think that they could have minimized the damage, so to speak. I always say this. Look, I'm a free speech guy, but it's like I said, these are their platforms. These are their what am I saying? These are their competitions. They have a right to control, to a degree, what's going on around these competitions. So it's like I said, you want to have that policy that you can't go off and make a political statement or whatever during a post-game interview. Fine. That's their right as an organizer. But again, one, I think you have to be super careful with that, to how harsh your punishments are, because, with Blitzchung, it was a year, his prize money, his title, you gave him his title back, he has his prize money, and a 6-month ban. Really? Now you're banning 3 collegiate students with the same ban. I know I'm kind of dancing around topics, and I'm not sitting on one thing for too long. I'm trying to make the point of Blizzard has every right to have the policy. It's like I keep saying, I keep repeating that because I want to, because I have to give them that. They have that right. But again, from a PR standpoint, you can't have a 6-month ban because of that. Like I said, you want to have a fine. You need to make like I said, you have to be careful with this, because it looks like you're punishing free speech. No, you have to make it clear, look, we do have a punishment for this because it is against the rules. But again, you can't make it so people are afraid of you. They just go, okay, look, we can't do this here. And I know it's a fine line, but they're looking at that fine line far in the mirror with a 6-month ban. Like I said, I think a minor fine or maybe a 1 tournament ban or like I said, a month or something would probably be where I drew the line, personally. But like I said, I think they could have minimized the damage by coming out right after the event and saying, look, we fucked up. We acted, maybe not in those words, but look, we acted rashly. Okay, yes, we were worried about business interests in China, a few other things, so we did act rashly. We are severely reducing the ban. We apologize for this, but we do want to make this clear. It is in our policy that we ask people not to make political statements. This is because we want to keep things focused on the game. We don't want to alienate any audiences. We want this to be a place that people can come together and pay attention to esports, not whatever the issue is that the person's talking about. I think, like I said, would people still be pissed off? Sure. Would people be frustrated? Sure. I would argue that at that point, even now, I'm not going to say that this is a free speech issue wholeheartedly. I mean, there is an element of this that is a free speech issue, but everybody's like, well, they're censoring people. And I'm saying, but again, it's like I said, it is their platform, so to speak. Yeah, it's kind of one of those, where does the rights as a company, where do the rights of the company have start and end? And like I said, there's those are questions for a much more serious channel than mine to talk about. All I'm saying is there was a way out of this, or maybe not out of this, but there was a way to make this way less damaging than it is, and they just keep making wrong moves. Jesus Christ. Either way, guys, I hope this was understandable. I saw the story and thought, oh, I've got to talk about this. This will be funny. But yeah, man, I don't know where the hell Blizzard's going to go. I say keep an eye out on BlizzCon and see what sort of protests are going to drop. But yeah, that's all I got for you in this one. I want to say, as always, thanks for watching. Like I said, sorry that this wasn't really the most entertaining video visually. This is really just kind of more of a podcast style thing. But either way, the weekly show should be at the normal time this week on Sunday. Other than that, stay tuned because next week we've got a lot of new Let's Play starting. We've got a WWE 2K20 career mode playthrough. We've also got Call of Duty Modern Warfare and The Outer Worlds starting, so stay tuned for those. Other than that, there's all the series that I'm still currently doing. Tons of stuff here on the channel. Please go give it a check. And other than that, you can get in contact with me through the comments below or any of the social media platforms that are linked down in the description. Like, comment, you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. And other than that, my name's AJ Gills, the Something Gaming Channel. I'm out.